1996, West Indies Tour of Australia. At Brisbane, November 22nd, 23, 24, 25, 26. Australia won by 123 runs. Toss, West Indies. Test debuts, MTG Elliott, MS Kasprowicz. Campbell, whose previous highest score on the tour was 22, made a last-day century and almost saved this match for West Indies. But Bevan, who had never taken a test wicket as a spinner, took 3, including Campbell's, to win it. Meanwhile, Lara and Warne, the Celestials in whose hands the match was thought to rest, were by their usual standards little more than bystanders. Thus was established the series theme, a predictable enough end achieved by one entirely predictable means or agents. Doubts clouded the prelude. Taylor and Warne were still recovering from off-season surgery and their confreres from a disastrous tour of India. Australia had 2 new caps, Elliott, the Victorian left-hander, and Kasprowicz, the Queensland pace bowler. Michael Slater's omission caused a sensation. For their part, West Indies had just lost to an Australian 11 by 10 wickets and were apprehensive about starting the series with back-to-back tests. The Gabba pitch was unusually moist, which made Australians' 11-hour 479 all the more commendable. Mediocrity threatened when Elliott was caught behind off a loose shirt sleeve for a debut duck, and later when Bevan was caught at slip first ball to reopen speculation about his competence against short bowling, and leave Australia a precarious 196 for 5. Ponting and Taylor made good the first breach with 126 for the second wicket, Taylor by taking to the trenches so completely that he did not hit a boundary before lunch, Ponting, the anointed successor to David Boone at number 3, with a spirited counterattack that produced 7 fours and a 6 in that time. Then Steve Waugh and Healy shared 142 for the 6th wicket and Healy batted indomitably through the rest of the innings for 161 not out. Made in just under 6 hours and laced with 24s, it was his 3rd first-class and test century and the highest by an Australian wicketkeeper. West Indies bowlers had little luck and made none. They pitched too short to both Ponting and Waugh. They should have known better in his case. Thus, for the 5th time in their last 6 tests, this celebrated attack conceded more than 400 in the first innings. Hooper, gifted and remote, made his first century against Australia and, with the combative Chanderpaul, put on 172 to rescue his side from the precipice of 77 for 3. Regarded by the Australians as the best right-hand player of Warne in the world, Hooper was typically elegant until the 90s, whereupon his stroke play became frantic with nerves. His century was literally a close-run thing, an ill-advised call, a direct hit and a judgment so fine that Hooper had to wait several minutes until third umpire Peter Parker gave him the benevolent benefit of a tiny doubt. Immediately, the match changed. Ponting sprawled to catch Hooper from Steve Waugh, who promptly pulled his hamstring. Taylor, riding a characteristic hunch, gave the ball to Ponting, who claimed Adams, and then Chanderpaul drove at rear fell and was caught. Warne claimed his first wicket in the 106th over and West Indies, after losing no wickets for more than 4 hours, lost 7 in less than 1 hour. Though Australia led by 202, Taylor did not enforce the follow-on. Instead, Australia spent a little more than 2 sessions augmenting that lead. Mark Waugh made a smooth half-century, Healy set about the flagging bowlers with 45 not out from just 50 balls, and there was a poignant moment when Bevan, still on a pair, edged Bishop gently to slip, where Lara dropped it. Taylor set a target of 420 from about 120 overs, which history showed to be nearly impossible. But the bookies set a West Indian victory at an absurdly short price. Lara was bristling with shots on the 4th evening, and Warne's forefinger was an unknown quantity. In fact, Lara played an intemperate slash at rear fell next morning, and second slip Mark Waugh took a white-hot catch in front of his face. The issue then became survival. The pitch was still largely intact, denying Warne his expected spin, but the tireless McGrath threatened constantly from around the wicket and Bevan shocked the batsman with his bounce. Campbell stood in the breach for nearly 7 hours as the others collapsed around him. With the pylons beginning to cast their evening shadows, he played wearily at straightening ball from Bevan and his brave, vain fight was finished.
Since the middle of the 19th century, Brisbane, home to well over 1 million Queenslanders, has served as the political and economic heart of Queensland. It's also witnessed some of cricket's greatest moments. First Tide Test, the birth of a bowling legend, and the exploits of a more recent hero. Today it hosts a battle for supremacy between two of the greatest cricketing nations. Welcome to the Gabba. Welcome to the decider. And welcome to the highlights of the opening day's play of this decider between Australia and the West Indies. Wonderful atmosphere around the ground, spectators streaming in, and a lot of tension. Now, these are the two teams announced by the selectors. The Australian side has Jason Gillespie as 12th man. Michael Kasperwitz makes his debut, as does Matthew Elliott up the top. Then there's Mark Taylor, the skipper, Ricky Ponting, the two Wars, Bevan, Healy, Rifle, Warne and McGrath. And the West Indian side, they had a battle there. They had to make up their minds about Courtney Brown or Junior Murray, and it's gone to Courtney Brown. Got Samuels, Campbell, Lara Hooper, Chander, Paul, Adams, Bishop, Ambrose, Benjamin, and Courtney Walsh as the skipper. Adrian Griffith will be the 12th man. Well, we're going to join play now with the first ball. The conditions are good, and the West Indies have won the toss and put the Australians in. The pitch itself looked to be very, very firm. Ambrose is the bowler. Mark Taylor, the Australian captain, is taking strike. Your commentators, Bill Laurie and Michael Holding.
Oh, a nice bounce. Catch it was a cry. He didn't play, but nice bounce. Not too short either. The ball on a good length. Bit of movement in the air, and this is what Test cricket is all about. The tension of the first morning. Can the batsman survive the first session? This is a very good delivery. Pitches and moves away slightly. Well bowled. Matthew Elliott on strike for the first time in the Test match. 25 years of age. He's facing his first ball against the experienced West Indian captain, Courtney Walsh. It's not for a shot. That takes me back to about 1975, I think it was, when Gordon Greenwich shouldered arms to Dennis Lilly and was plumb LBW, and at lunch I think the West Indies was 7 for 52. It was bounce there, saved Matthew Elliott, but it was certainly on line. Courtney Walsh won the toss, elected to bowl. Australia no wicket for 4. Matthew Elliott get the score on debut. He's facing Curtly Ambrose in the Clem Jones stand end of the Gabba. Beats him. That's superbly bowled. Elliott walking to that one. That was one that hit the seam, moved away, gave it the full face of the bat, but wasn't good enough to get an edge.
That was brilliant. In line with the stumps, he had to play and just enough movement.
Gone. I think that's out. Yes, unfortunately, Matthew Elliott stands has gone for a duck. That's beautiful bowling. It seemed to hit the thigh pad on the way through. That'll be a good one to look at and replay with the slow-mo. That's a big breakthrough for the West Indies.
Well, Curtly Ambrose certainly has been bowling very well, keeping the ball up to the bat. But let's see exactly what this hit. Matthew Elliott didn't seem too impressed with the decision. Perhaps just brushing the shirt on the way through, but it was very close. And Matthew Elliott has failed in his first Test match for Australia after making so many runs previously. West Indies have struck. It's 1 down for 4.
Ricky Ponting at number 3. The West Indians winning the toss, electing to bowl, but a big breakthrough here at the Gabba. Oh, that one gets away. This is a great start by the West Indies. This is what you expect at Test level. That's 4. It's 1 for 8. It's well bowled. There's a gap there. They took the man out of the slip cord, and that's going to race away for 4 more. Took the man from 4 slip to backward square leg. It wasn't catchable, I don't think. I think it would have been short of the fieldsman, but it was well bowled.
Short of the 4th slip fieldsman, and that's the 3rd boundary for Ricky Ponting, all coming in that area. It's 1 for 21. It's well played again. He's driving Curtly Ambrose mad at the moment. He's almost tearing his hair out. That's the 4th 4 in that area, but I'd say all but one of them have been very well controlled shots.
This will give you some idea of how quickly the ball went down there. It bounced almost, what, about 5 metres from the bat and straight down.
Change now at the Bolger Street end. Courtney Walsh is off, being replaced by Kenny Benjamin. That's a good shot. He's hit it well enough. That's way back, well over Curtly Ambrose's head. That was timed beautifully.
Oh, this is a beautiful shot. We know he plays this hook shot well. This is the first really short one he's got, and he was onto it very quickly indeed. And the man down at fine leg Ambrose stood there and just watched it, kept going and going way over the top of his head. Beautiful timing. Ambrose is on the fence. You watch his reaction here. He just watches it and then just keeps watching it.
And away from the keeper and off the 4. This is one of the reasons why Ricky Ponting, I think, is the ideal number 3. An early wicket has gone for Australia, but here's this young man counter-attacking and taking the initiative away from the bowlers. This is very good batting.
.33 for Ponting. Taylor has made 8 so far, 1 for 47. Kenny Benjamin's the bowler. That's a good stroke. This will give us an idea about the pace of the ball across the outfield. Well, it's good enough because I doubt if Ponting timed that as perfectly as he might have wished. And yet it's still gone to the boundary, so there's a bit of speed and it will quicken up as the afternoon goes on. Half century on the board for the Australians. Ian Bishop is the man at the Stanley Street end. That's a good shot. Now, that will look very, very pleasant in replay, as he did just about everything right there, Ricky Ponting. Got his foot out to the line of the ball. It was swinging away from him, but he still covered it and got it right off the meat of the bat. This is Kenny Benjamin.
Yes, that's wide and short. That's well played by Taylor. He's been waiting for one outside that off stump for a while. He's got that one away nicely. Not quite to the fence, but he'll get 3 here. He's been very patient, and that was one of his bread and butter shots.
Didn't quite get as much batter as possible on that. Pitched outside off stump, tending to go away from him and just hit the bottom of the bat.
And he's hit it past him, so that's a half century to Ricky Ponting. He'll be very happy about that. He weathered the storm early on, and he's now got himself to 50.
Another change in the attack here for the West Indies. Just had Kenny Benjamin operating from the Bolger Street end. Now Courtney Walsh has taken the ball.
That's the slow one, and it's off the edge. A little bit of frustration there for Walsh. They won't quite get to the fence, but they will get 3. That's the end of the over. 1 for 77.
Good start by Taylor, probably his best shot so far. That could go all the way. Good positive start. That's 4. Good afternoon, Ian Chappell.
Good afternoon, Bill. Nicely timed on that occasion from Mark Taylor. It's the first boundary for Mark Taylor. His timing was a little astray before lunch, but as he always does, he fights hard for his wicket.
It's going to be Walsh from the members' end. Oh, he's on fire, Taylor. That's the best shot from him so far. That was a perfect cover drive. He struggled through the first session. He's come out. The sun's out this afternoon. He's found touch. Danger for the West Indies.
Well, that's 2 that have come right off the middle of the bat for Mark Taylor straight after the luncheon break. 1 square cut and that lovely cover drive.
And the shouts to catch it, but it was well short of the fielder at third slip, but not short of the boundary rope. Afternoon, Michael Holby.
Good afternoon, Richie. More frustrations for the West Indies team. We have seen on quite a few occasions very good deliveries going past the outside edge, and now they finally hit the outside edge and they think, oh, at last. It doesn't carry, but over 100 runs on the tins now, and just still the 1 wicket down. The partnership of 100 exactly at the moment.
Didn't quite get that, but they'll get 3 for it. He will stop just 15 metres short of the boundary rope.
Not afraid to play the pull shot at all, Ricky Ponting. Just over 4,000 runs now to Ricky Ponting in first-class cricket.
That's a classic. He played one earlier off Ian Bishop. It was a beauty, but was no better than that stroke. Just about everything was right with it. Cracking stroke. I reckon on the replay that will be not far away from the perfect pull, so that he's rolled his wrists on it and played it down pretty much into the ground. That's another nice stroke. The short ball followed by the one well pitched up, and they'll just get 3 for this. They'll just make it. Been very many strokes. Mark Taylor has really got as he might have wanted today. One went in the air, quite a long way. I don't think Courtney's going to be over pleased with that. I'll check if the smile is bursting through, but I doubt it. Played on, and Courtney Walsh at last has had a stroke of luck. It's been equal bad luck for Mark Taylor, trying to play a pull shot, a perfectly legitimate stroke. And the bottom edge down onto the stumps. This could be the breakthrough.
Well, the Westerns will be saying, well, at least they are due some luck. That ball was pulled from outside the off stump, getting the under edge onto the stumps. A bit of bad luck there for Mark Taylor, but persistence there for Courtney Walsh. Australia have lost their second wicket. It's 2 for 130.
I like to feel the breeze in my back. I like to give 100%. I like to win. And I like Tomo.
The new batsman to join Ricky Ponting is Mark Waugh. 31 years of age, averaging 43 in Test cricket. Well over 3,000 Test runs in his 56 Tests. Taylor out for 43. Elliott in his first Test match, unfortunately out for naught. But Ricky Ponting carrying the Australian flag, and with him Mark Waugh. And that is the sort of elegance you've come to expect from Mark Waugh. Beautiful timing, not quite good enough to get it to the boundary, but that takes him off the mark. It's a very, very confident start there for Mark Waugh. Samuels, the fieldsman in the gully, a genuine chance. It was away to his right. He made good ground to it, got both hands to it. A little bit of bounce there. Unfortunately for Samuels, he couldn't hang on to it. This time he gets it through. Just a little bit too full. And Ricky Ponting doesn't miss too many of those.
Yes, he's played that shot excellently today. Anything that's been slightly overpitched, he really has got himself into position nice and quickly. And his hitting has been lovely and crisp.
Kenny Benjamin will continue his spell from the Stanley Street end. Mark Waugh will be facing.
Well, that's hit him right in the side of the head. And I'll tell you what, that really has crunched into him. It made a sickening noise. I'd say it was right alongside his ear.
He goes down, turns the head and cops it at the back and the bottom part of the helmet.
So, the end of an eventful over. 2 for 145.
Australia making a good start after being sent in by Courtney Walsh. And straight to mid-on. Courtney Walsh is there. So Kenny Benjamin has at last got a reward for a very good spell. It looked as though that one may have hit somewhere down near the bottom of the bat. It certainly wasn't going at full power.
Yes, and I think the two men down on the deep on the backward square position and tried to entice Ponty to pull it through mid-wicket. Excellent piece of bowling. It moved away off the pitch. That's what did him. He had to whip it from wide outside the off stump straight to Walsh. The end of a very good innings from Mickey Ponting out for 88, but excellent bowling by Benjamin. So 3 for 146. An interesting situation at the Gabba.
Well, Steve Waugh, who had such a successful series against the West Indies in the Caribbean, made his highest test score of 200 at Sabina Park. He's now at the crease.
Ian Bishop will continue from the Vulture Street end.
And no third slip. It probably wouldn't have quite carried. In fact, no fourth slip. That's what happens as soon as he gets anywhere near the stumps. It'll cost him.
That was poorly bowled as well. It's a beautiful stroke. Really, he went wide and pushed into his pads. Mark Waugh, one of the best players in the world off his pads. Very strong, wristy player.
Oh, he's had a go at that one, and that could so easily have gone to gully or slip. It's gone to fence for 4, though. It was wide. It was a half volley, I suppose. Went after it. It's 3 for 159. Ambrose again. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Magnificently cut away. Short outside off stump. Ambrose spins around there and walks straight back to his marker after that one. That was right off the meat of the bat. Into the gap on the offside. It's running away down towards the fence. I don't think it'll quite get there. He'll get 3, though. 5 runs off that over. 3 for 177.
65 overs. Being bowled here at the Gabba on the first day of the first test between Australia and the West Indies. West Indian captain continuing to bowl. That's caught behind. Mark Waugh is the batsman out. We've seen him out that way a number of times in his test career. Rather loose delivery going down the leg side. Mark Waugh trying to whip it away. Only managed to deflect it as far as Courtney Brown down the leg side. Just off the bat there. An athletic catch there by the West Indian wicketkeeper. His footwork is nowhere near as good as some I've seen, but he's very acrobatic. He covers a lot of ground there, and the West Indian captain is pretty happy with that wicket. So Mark Waugh out for 38, and that makes Australia 4 for 196. Batting at 6 for Australia in this test match, left-hander. Career record of 383 runs at 31, with a higher score of 91 in test cricket. It's in the air and he's gone. First ball, Courtney Walsh ran up as though a man on a mission. He knew that he had an opportunity to break through here and get into the lower order of the Australians. He's bowled the ball just short of a length, the area that Michael Bevan has probably found most difficult against the faster bowlers. Again, he's hung the bat out. A little bit of bounce and a bit of movement. He's out first ball for a duck. Samuels, the fieldsman. And look at the reaction to the wicket by the bowler himself.
Great disappointment there for Michael Bevan. 5 for 196 now, Australia.
Ian Healy, the batsman who will be facing the hat-trick. And Ian Healy prevents it happening and gets off the mark. 68 overs, Australia 5 for 199. Carl Hooper will continue.
Nice placement there from Steve Waugh. And I think the foot went on the rope there. And the umpire is immediately calling for something from the umpire. What he really should get is a signal from the player. In fact, Courtney Walsh is going to ask him, and the player has said, I put my foot on the rope with the ball in hand. Boundary brought up the 200 for Australia. It's no one out in the deep, so Healy's taken the opportunity to exploit that area.
As Benjamin comes back into the attack, who did a lot of damage this afternoon in containing the batsman. It's well driven by Healy. The last ball of the over could go all the way. A very good over for Australia. The ball slowing up, but will just make it. 8 off the over, 5 for 234.
Yeah.
Brings up the 50 partnership and it's going to go for 4. Could go for 4 more. Healy timing the ball beautifully. Ten off the over, 5 for 253. New ball is only 1 over away. This is this 80th over, and that's cracked beautifully. That's 4 more. Too short, too wide. 5 for 257. The second new ball is about to be taken by, looks like, Ian Bishop. And that's a good start, and that's what batsmen do like, a widest delivery with the new ball.
When the dust settled on day one, the honours appeared evenly shared. A spark being knocked from a young Tasmanian had blunted but not beaten the power of the Caribbean quickies, and now a royal contest looms. The Sheik of Tweak and Prince of Batsman. Welcome to the highlights of the second day's play of this Gabba Test match. The first day was a great contest. The Australians, perhaps just a little lucky at times, with the ball going past the outside or inside edge. The West Indian bowlers tried hard, but at the close of play, at 5 for 282, the Australian card looked quite healthy. This is the way it was, with Taylor making 43 and Ponting 88, batting at number 3, Mark Waugh 38, and ducks registered by Matthew Elliott and Michael Bevan. Bad luck for them, but Steve Waugh and Ian Healy in that splendid 86-run partnership had taken them through to a good position at the end. 48 for Steve Waugh and 47 for Healy. Now the bowling figures for the West Indies. Walsh, as always, worked very, very hard. He took 3 wickets, Ambrose 1, and the other one went to Kenny Benjamin. Well, conditions on the second day were quite good, not as humid as on the first. Another big crowd expected, 17,000 there on the first day, the biggest crowd since 1975-6. And the pitch, according to Tony Greig, had hardened up and looked as though it would be beautiful for batting. We're joining play now in the second over. Curtly Ambrose is the bowler. He's coming in from the Vulture Street end. Ian Healy has taken strike. Your commentators, Tony Greig and Ian Chappell.
And that's gone to third man as well. We've seen a lot of runs scored in that area, all the way to the fence. Healy got that one away. So Ian Healy has got another 50 in Test match cricket. We'll keep a close watch here on Ambrose bowling his second over. Oh, that's well bowled. A little bit of swing there. He's got that one on target. And back he comes for the second, and so that's Steve Waugh's 50. That's well played by Stephen Waugh. He's having a great time against the West Indies.
Steve Waugh's consistency in the last 3 years at Test level has been quite incredible.
Ambrose has been just a little wide outside off stump. He'll be homing in now. And played away off the stumps.
That is the 100 partnership between Steve Waugh and Ian Healy. Once again, easy runs being picked off by the Australians on the onside.
Now then, change in the bowling. Ian Bishop is the man coming on and going away as well. Healy has relished the change with a boundary from the first ball bowled by Bishop after the drinks break. That's a beautiful stroke. It's right into the correct position for the cover drive. And Healy will take 3. 5 for 312.
And whilst making a change from the Clem Jones stand end of the Gabba, he's coming into the attack himself. He was by far the best bowler yesterday.
Got his glove to it. That was a terrific effort. It looked for all the world that he had no chance of getting anywhere near it, and he made a tremendous dive at it. Courtney Brown, the keeper.
No stage did he look like getting there. The ball is gloved. Steve Waugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the big dive. He got it. He had it until he hit the ground. What a great attempt.
Quite safe, and it's 4. Not been very many false strokes. A little bit of playing and missing, certainly yesterday, but not all that many false strokes. 4 more to Healy, and that takes him now to 75. That's a good stroke. Won't go for 4, but Steve Waugh was nicely over the top of it, and he'll get 3 for that. 5 for 327. Safely away again, and quite deliberate. No doubt about that. And Walsh may be shaking his head, but if he bowls it short outside the off stump, there's every chance Waugh will put it away. 5 for 333.
Gets it away. That's 4. Good morning, Tony Gregg.
Morning, Bill. That is a beautiful shot. Whipped that one away on the onside off his hip. He plays it very well. He's screaming away past the umpire, and that's got a few of them out of their seats. Just watch this. Pitched off way down the wicket, whips it away off his thigh, and there was no way that anyone's going to stop that one. Racing across that outfield there.
As Bishop goes around the wicket for this final delivery. And he's got one, yes, finally the change of angle gets the wicket. Stephen Waugh is gone by the change of line. They tried something different. Bishop went around the wicket. Lara come forward. Steve Waugh waited. And that's the end of a very good innings.
Let's have a look at this. Stephen Waugh waited because he didn't think it quite carried. It was quite low to the ground. And that's Lara coming forward there. I think he wouldn't have reacted like that had it not carried to him.
He judged it to perfection. It just carried. There's the nick. Steve Waugh jumping back, and Brian Lara coming forward, just caught it as clean as a whistle, just above the ground.
There he is on his way back now, and he made 66. It's 6 for 338.
Paul Rifle joins Ian Healy because Steve Waugh was out. A very good catch by Brian Lara.
Benjamin is bowling now, but the catch from Lara, he's been at first slip throughout this inning so far. Now watch this. He comes forward and catches it literally just before it touches the ground. Look at this. That's very well taken.
And great camera work as well. Fantastic. Healy slashes over the top. Could go for 4. Ambrose is coming around. Doesn't get it. What a fine cricketer Healy is when the pressure is on. He's only got a limited range of shots. Likes to hit the ball square the wicket on the offside. He'll play the hook shot occasionally and just work you around. And they're slashed away over the top. A no ball called, and Healy going into the 90s. What a cricketer. Poor delivery, but great shot. And the crowd loving it. The home crowd here at the Gabba for Ian Healy, 110% support, and rightly so.
It's a good shot. He's hit that right into the gap. Well, that's certainly not the cover drive of a tail-ender. A lot of batsmen pretty proud of that one. He's not a bad player, Paul Rifle.
Over bowled, 6 for 357.
It's going to be Curtly Ambrose with figures of 1 for 76.
Just the one slip in place with Ian Healy on 99.
And there it is for Ian Healy. Number 3, and that'll give him a lot of joy scoring it at his home ground.
Always very good to do well on your home ground. The entire Australian team and the spectators around the ground appreciating Ian Healy's effort. Has been a very good knock.
Good crowds. First day crowd was better than today. That's nicely timed by Paul Rifle. The fact that it was a larger crowd yesterday. Rifle decides to go on the fact that Courtney Walsh can't really throw. That's good running.
As Ian Bishop takes over at the Vulture Street end, he'll be going around the wicket to Paul Rifle. Then presents no problems for Paul Rifle.
I'll be interested to see how Ian Bishop comes back for the spell. I'll just have to hustle a little bit there to get in for his third.
Not perfectly timed, but well enough.
We'll soon know if he intends to go at it absolutely flat out again. That was a real wind-up from Ian Healy. A flat bat away straight down the ground.
Again, over the top this time. The top spin working well again. So a good over for the Australians and Ian Healy, 6 for 404. The West Indian captain will now charge into Paul Rifle. In the air, gone. Fairly straightforward caught and bowled chance to Courtney Walsh. He takes his 4th wicket of the innings, the 7th of the Australian innings to fall. Paul Rifle very disappointed with that. He's obviously enjoying his time out there and the partnership.
You won't see many more casual shots than that. It wasn't a change of pace, it was just Walsh loosening up. And Rifle has just pushed it straight back to him off a reasonably thick inside part of the bat. 7 for 407.
Shane Warne is the new batsman. He's out there with Healy now. 125 Healy has got.
Courtney Walsh has decided to do something a little bit different. He's going to introduce his spinner into the attack.
Oh, he's chipped that one down the ground. There's no one at mid-off. And will it go all the way? It will. Yes, well, Kenny Benjamin definitely takes a little bit of time to get going. 7 for 411. In the air, and it's going to go way over Ambrose's head and down to the fence for 4. Well, I don't know whether they specifically put him 20 metres in from the fence on purpose. But that shot takes Ian Healy to 133, the highest score by an Australian wicketkeeper.
As he took him on, he hit it as clean as a whistle. Ambrose was quite deep, but not deep enough.
He's gone for it again, and this time Ambrose didn't pick it up at all, went the wrong way. And 3 bounces over the fence for 4. Now, this is really gives you some indication of how aggressive a player this chap is. They've got 3 men there all trying to stop that shot, but they're not going to do it. Shane Warner's just arrived at the crease. He's got 2. And he's also got half the West Indians all around him. Oh, he's gone for that one. They're all in, and he's decided to get on the attack. It's running down to the fence, and it's gone to the fence for 4. So he's popped 1 or 2, fended them off, and he's decided now to get stuck in. That was a good shot. In the air, got him. Yes, it's gone straight to second slip. Has he given him? No, he hasn't. Well, Warren's hand went straight to his shoulder. Just for a second, I thought it was off the glove. It obviously wasn't. Warren stayed there, rock solid. Randall also reckoned it was off the shoulder. And this should tell us exactly what it hit.
Well, maybe it was on the elbow.
Was it? On the forearm. That's a full toss. He smashed that one through the offside field. And it should reach the fence as well. Yes, it will. 9 runs off that over. It's all happening out in the centre. The Aussie flags are flying, and Shane Warne is beginning to cut loose. Oh, he's got him. They're asking the question. Warne, oops, in the ball. Well, I must say, Warne that time didn't indicate anything. He looked back down at Mitchley, and Mitchley said, well, he just looked straight down the pitch and didn't say anything.
Shane Warne looking to pull that ball. Ball hitting the thigh pad onto the bat. Then Courtney Brown rather takes the catch. But unfortunately, the decision given against the West Indies. It goes onto the thigh pad, onto the bat, into his pocket.
I'm going to watch Walsh continuing now.
He's hit pretty well. Right off the middle of the bat. In fact, he's cleared the rope. Got a very good piece of that one, Shane Warne, and hits 6 off Courtney Walsh.
Well, Shane Warne has stood his ground to these fast bowlers for sure. Fended off a few, and then he decided that it's about time he has to place the hook shot. That one was hit very hard. Went a long way.
Nicely placed there by Healy. Well away from the man at deep backward square. Australians toying with them at the moment as the 450 comes up. Now, I'm not sure whether he caught up with that one or not. That's well fielded by Brian Lara. And he obviously has caught up with it because umpire Mitchley has given it as hits.
Cooper bowling on the leg stump line.
There's the 150 for Ian Healy, plus a few bonuses. That's very well played.
An excellent knock by Ian Healy.
Going to be Bishop from the members' end. Oh, straight back went the pull shot, and that was a very good catch by Bishop. Good reflex catch. So Warren's out for 24. It's now 8 for 468.
Shane Warne looking to play a straight pull shot, really. Well, that's where it went, straight. He was trying to hit it just on the onside. Didn't quite get the timing right. A comfortable caught and bowled for Bishop.
As Michael Kapsovitz makes his debut for Australia, tremendous ovation for this young man. He took 64 wickets in first-class cricket last summer, bowling his fast outswingers. Wide of Gully, so he's off the mark. First runs in Test cricket for Kapsovitz. Big roar from the crowd, the home crowd. 8 for 471. Got that high. There's a man down there. Should catch it. Yeah, straight down the throat. A deep fine there, Kenny Benjamin. That was well caught. In the field a long time. And straight to him. And another wicket for Bishop.
Well, a reasonably easy wicket there for Ian Bishop. As I say, I think the instructions were sent with Kasprowicz when he went out there that we haven't got time to muck around. If you're going to get some, get them quickly. Well, unfortunately for him, he didn't pick the gap. Hold out straight down Kenny Benjamin's throat. So Kasprowicz, a quick fire 6 in his first test innings. Ian Healy still out there with the score 9 for 477.
Number 11, McGrath, comes to the crease. It's got him. Oh, well, there you are. McGrath cops one. It may have been on the forearm. Got him. So that's it. Bowled out for 479. Australia. Very good comeback. They were 1 for 4. 5 for 196. A very good recovery. A very good target that set the West Indies in the first Test match.
Kenny Benjamin picks up his second wicket for the innings, taking the off stump. There's Glenn McGrath. Ian Healy remains not out. 161. Fantastic performance. You'll get a great round of applause here from the Queensland crowd.
Good performance from the Australians to get up to 479. An outstanding effort from Ian Healy. This is the way the card looked at the end. 479 with Healy unbeaten on 161. Ponting 88, the second top score. And Steve Waugh 66. Steve Waugh the first man out today. And then good partnerships with Paul Rifle and Shane Warne to take it along to 479. The West Indies bowling figures, well, they're reflected in that final total. Pushing up towards 500. Ambrose 1 for 93. Courtney Walsh, the skipper, 4 for 112. Kenny Benjamin 2 for 97. Ian Bishop 3 for 105 from 30 overs. And Carl Hooper 19 overs of off-spin without any reward at all, costing him 64 runs. We go and join the West Indian reply now. In the second over, it's none for 5. Paul Rifle is the bowler. Robert Samuels is taking strike. In the commentary box, Ian Chappell, and I'm just about to join him. Good stroke for 4. Samuels is a little bit of a stand and deliver man, but he didn't have much to do there with his feet. It's no wicket for 9. And McGrath now is at the Vulture Street end. Just away from the man at cover, and 4 runs. Very competent looking shot from Robert Samuels. West Indies go on to no wicket for 19. There'll be 3 slips for Gully for Kasprowicz, plus a short leg. Safely away for 4. And quite a deliberate stroke. Might have come off a bit of an edge in the end, but Campbell was hitting it up rather than trying to play it down.
That'll go down to the fence as well. That is well played, actually. Short ball outside off stump and steered away down through the gap for 4. A good shot by Campbell. Got him. Yes, he's out. No way that didn't go off the bat. Big deflection there, and that is the first wicket to McGrath in this West Indian innings. Samuels out caught.
That was good bowling by Glenn McGrath. Kept him tucked up in line with his body, and then one on-off stump going away. Robert Samuel just tickling that through to wicketkeeper Ian Healy. Then McGrath has struck for Australia. They needed an early wicket. They got it. Robert Samuels departs. It's 1 for 30.
Well, the guy they called the Prince, Brian Lara, left-hand batsman, just 27 years of age.
There it goes. It was just a fraction short. He didn't quite get it. It may not go all the way. It was a genuine pull shot. It was in the air for a few metres. And they'll run 3. Rifle doesn't bowl all that short. He's just trying to take command, Brian Lara, not allow him to dictate the terms. See that he's not quite happy with it. He's good enough to pick up 3. Oh, gone! Good catch! Warren, a third slip, splashing at Rifle. That went like a bullet. Warren grabbed it. I think it may be the second grab. That's a big breakthrough. Very good catching by the Australians, and the West Indies all of a sudden 2 for 43.
That's half the battle when you've got bowlers striving away out there late in the day. That someone will cling on to a fierce strike like that.